I apologize for the delay. There was a meeting with the governor this morning that has shifted our schedule a little bit. And I think there's still two members that are discussing part of those issues, so we'll go from there. So I will call the Senate Finance Committee meeting to order. And
Move we go into executive session?
we have a motion to go in executive order. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second to go in executive order. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. We are in executive session. We are on page 1 of the packet, and we are looking at items number 1A, B, and C. And those are going to be put on hold. We've got Senator Birdsall.
Mr. Chair, I had a question from the Public Defender Program. Is there anyone here from the Public Defenders Program?
Yep. You need to hit the button to get it, make it red.
I'm the Executive Director of the Judicial Council. We also have the outgoing and incoming Director of the Public Defender Program as well.
Whomever needs to, after we ask the question, can come on up.
So I'm not sure, there's a couple programs that I'm thinking about, but and I believe this is the one. But with the Public Defenders Program, during the hearing, the public hearing, we had a number of public defenders come up and ask for the positions to be brought back so that we wouldn't have to be using the contractors to do the public defending. If this money is put back in, are you still going to be contracting with the contracting of public defenders organization to come in?
With the additional money that's in the item that you had proposed, Senator Birdsdale, there would not be any use of contractors besides that which is necessary to cover conflicts of interest. So the Judicial Council has to fund private attorneys who take cases when the public defender can't due to legal conflicts of interest. Currently, we have to use contractors in courts where the public defender has closed courts due to being over capacity. So if the money that is contemplated in that line goes forward, the public defender would be able to open fully to courts, and so we'd only be using contractors in cases where the public defender could not, for legal reasons, take a case.
So would you be using the contractors at all?
We are always required to use contractors just simply due to conflict of interest reasons. So if two people are arrested for the same crime, the public defender can't represent both due to conflicts of interest. So in those cases, we have to use a contractor. So we continue doing that because we're legally required to. However, we would certainly seek to curtail the use of contractors generally and only use them in those specific instances.
Okay, thank you.
And one follow-up to that. Is that the same thing as the assigned counsel you were talking about that is assigned by courts? Is you're saying that we wouldn't have to use them if we restored this funding?
Correct, Senator. So the contractors, and not to get too much into the weeds, but there are two classes of attorney who take cases when the public defender cannot, either due to being over capacity or for conflicts of interest. There's contract attorneys and assigned counsel, the difference being in how they're compensated. I refer to them collectively as conflict counsel because they take cases when there's a conflict. And they both are private attorneys who take cases through the Judicial Council.
Senator Rosenblum.
Thank you. Does the Judicial Council have the ability to come to the Fiscal Committee and ask for money to cover the cost of contract and assigned counsel?
Yes.
And could I follow up?
Oh.
And more of a discussion point, the reason my amendment looks different from Senate.
No longer be available, and so I'd imagine they would be seeking other positions. Obviously, I think it would depend on an attorney basis, but I don't think the program could bank on those attorneys being available.
Thank you.
Okay, additional comments? Then items 1A, B, and C are on hold. Item number 2. Let's remove that one from the list. Is there any objections to removing it from the list? Seeing none, it is removed. Item number 3
Second.
We have a Pearl and a Lang. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. And moving on to 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all on hold.
Mr. Chair, I do have some questions on number 6. Is there anyone here that could discuss the closure of the courts in Hooksett?
Is there anyone here representing the court system? I guess we've got 2 volunteers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We've got 1 volunteer.
Good afternoon, Erin Cregan, General Counsel for the court system.
Go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for coming in and taking my question. So I have some real concerns that have been raised by 2 of my communities that have used the Hooksett Court specifically. I guess I'd like to know a bit more about the plan for closure and what you plan to do with the employees that are there, and I guess why you want to close this, because this is going to, in my opinion, going to put a real burden on some of these communities and may increase their costs locally to try and, implement the change that you're making, and I'd like to know some more about it.
Absolutely. In order to make the 4% efficiency budget, it was tremendously challenging to find bigger ticket items, rents, contracts, things of that kind. On average, the courts process cases at a cost of about $900 each. We are lean and we are very personnel heavy, which is direct, clerical judicial resources. In order to make that efficiency cut, we had to close 2 of the 32 locations where the circuit court appears. A major advantage of the circuit court for many people living in New Hampshire is how geographically accessible it is throughout the state. But looking at the different locations and the usage of the different courts, the facilities themselves, the availability of an option relatively near geographic dispersal throughout the state. At first, we looked at Candia and Claremont, and after more feedback, ultimately settled on Goffstown and Hooksett. But there is no doubt there will be people who are inconvenienced by having less geographic distribution of circuit court locations.
Oh, if I may. Well, one of my big concerns is the burden it's going to put on these local PDs. They're going to have their officers out of town for longer periods of time, which is going to cause them to have coverage issues. It may cause them to go into overtime issues. And I guess it's a real concern for me, and especially the Hooksett facility. It directly impacts 2 of my communities as well as the state police themselves that use that facility. So I'm not going to be in favor of supporting that, and I think it would. I'd like to see if there's a different plan of something different we could do, or I guess I'd like to know what the cost associated would be to not close those facilities. Is that something that you could provide for us?
Certainly can. Would you like me to look at both Hooksett and Goffstown, or
Yes.
only Hooksett?
Yeah, look at both and maybe break them out individually.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Before I recognize you, Senator Rose, I also do want to recognize the court system, which through their fees, I've got an estimate of what that will bring in from the fees.
5.4 million over the biennium.
And we want to recognize that also, and that's part of the reason why this one is on hold. Senator Rosenwald, you had a question?
I do. Do we still have a circuit court in Milford?
Yes, there is a location.
Follow up, please.
Follow up?
Some years ago, there was discussion about closing that one. Why is that one off the table now?
It was really looking at a lot of costs, so I'd have to look at the sheet, but rents, contracts, the age of the facility and how often it's used. So all of those things were looked at, but to give you like a figure-to-figure comparison, I'd have to look at it more. But we had similar feedback when we were looking at Candia and Claremont that there would also be drawbacks of those locations, and it was just a process of getting feedback and recommendations.
While you're looking at the other 2, you can also provide the senator with the information on hers.
Certainly.
Okay, additional comments? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are on hold. 7?
Second.
We have a motion, Senator Birdsall, Senator Lang to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. And we got a 4-2. Okay, moving on to page 3.
Move to approve 8A. Second.
I have a motion to approve 8A. Senator Pearl, seconded by Senator Lang. Any discussion? Senator Rosenwald?
Thank you. Do we have to look at these two together? Because
I'm
the
going to
money
make,
is attached to the
I'm going
first
to
one.
make a motion on 1B after we dispose of this one to drop the number down in half to try to give us some time to look at all the consequences in that. But
Okay.
give them 200,000 instead of 400,000.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we are on 8A. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 8B will be a HB1 adjustment. Any discussion on that? Senator Lang, Senator Birdsall. All those in favor say, oh,
Move to adjust the number from 100,000 to 200,000.
Yes, sir.
For each, from 2 to 1 for each year.
absolutely. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. And we're on page 4. Page 4, YDC claims. There are several things that are going on in discussions about the YDC. Where can we get money? How should the administrator be appointed? You know, the other things that are going on, the sale of the property over there, and whether that can be folded into this. More than likely would not be able to be folded in the first year, but only in the second year, so we would need language to do that. So with all of the things that are going on in that one, I'm in talks with the governor's office right now about if there should be changes in the structure of the legislation. Senator,
Mr. Chair, I just want to make sure I'm clear. So currently, in the budget, the House appropriated $10 million per year.
yep,
However, we also know that due to the structured settlement claims that we have, we need at least $13 million just to pay the claims that have been all settled. Is that correct?
when I asked them if it's 13 a year, they said no, but it's 26 over the biennium because some of the claims are paid out sooner. So if you may need more in the first year than in the second year. So yes.
But a minimum
that
of
will-
$26 million for the biennium is
26.
what's needed in order to
Yes,
pay
sir.
for the claims that have already been settled.
Plus, there will be an addition if any other claims
Claims
are
get settled.
settled.
Thank you.
Senator Rosenwald.
Is anyone here from the fund?
Jim,
Because I have a number of
come forward.
questions.
Jen Foley, General Counsel, YDC Claims Administration.
Thank you. So, I read this audit from LEA last night,
Yes.
and I just want to do a math check. It's through March 31st, we've spent $130 million out of the fund. That is $123 million to claimants and $7 million on administrative fees. We're committed to $9 million over the next 2 years for claims settled through March 31st. And my guess is we're looking at $7 million a biennium of administrative costs.
So I would need to look at the place in the audit report that you're referring to, because the tables had different numbers for different prisms. My understanding in talking with the Attorney General's office, Tom Kempfer in particular, we monitor the fund closely, is that the committed payouts for already resolved claims for 26 and 27 is 26 million plus. That number is rising because we continue to issue resolved claims pursuant to the existing appropriations that are allowed. So I'm
Just-
not certain which table you're referring to with the audit report.
Clarifying on that, because some of the lawyers were paid up front, some of the lawyers were paid on a 3-year schedule instead of the 10-year that the claimants were, it's what I was told, that it would not be $13 million a year for those going out into perpetuity. It would be a declining. It would start off with a 26 over the biennium, okay? Plus any other claims that were settled between now and the end of the year. And then that number, because of those, after the attorney fees are taken out, then it would be a number, but it wouldn't be the 13 million.
So certainly from a conceptual, the attorneys are paid, let's say it's a 9-year payout award. In the first 3 years of that 9 years, the attorney is fully paid. Then sure, the existing 6 years for that particular claim, the attorney's already paid, and that would impact, a smaller amount that's going out in those future years for that claimant. Interest, of course, is compounded and makes a difference.
Senator Rosenthal.
Thank you. So I'm just looking at this table of what the claimant awards were through March 31st. It's on page 9.
Okay?
And through March 31st, excluding attorney fees and excluding administrative fees for both the AG and the claims administrator, we are committed to pay $9 million for those 2 years, for 26 and 27. The 2 and 3 payout years. So I know also that the AG wants to keep a $10 million buffer in the fund. And so I guess my question is the amount we should consider obligated to be 156 million, adding up 130 million so far paid, the 9 million for the next 2 years, the administrative costs of the AG's private counsel and the cost of running your office and the buffer. My math gets us to 156 million.
So it would be most appropriate for me to be able to bring that question back to the folks who ran these numbers. Obviously, I'm not the part of the audit division who authored this report. And so I want to be responsible in answering your question.
I have another question.
If you have another question,
I do.
certainly, Senator, you can ask it.
So on page 5,
Of the audit report, certainly
no, page 7 of the audit report.
Senator, none of the people that are sitting here, none of the people who are in the audience, and none of the people online have the audit report. So I do want to put this one on hold, so we will be
Okay,
back.
but I would like to ask this question.
I-
There's $37 million in pending claims. Does that mean just claims that claimants have filed or that have been agreed to either by the AG or the administrator and just haven't been paid yet?
Good question. I can say this much about pending claims. And we will have our quarterly report coming out after another month and a half that will give more specifics, and I can get you specifics before then. we look at the numbers and the actual impact according to claims that are resolved, whether they're resolved from lump sum or periodic payment. We also have a variety of pending claims, whether they have been issued decisions and they are waiting the start process of payment, which the Attorney General's office is in charge of, or whether we have hearings and then we have 30 days to get those pending claims that are pending under evaluation. So we look at a number of pending status. What this audit report means when it says pending, I would take that question back.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, this one is on hold. Moving on to page 5.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. We are in Department of Agriculture and Foods. Senator Pearl moves item number 1. Senator Lang seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Senator Pearl, Senator Lang on item number 2. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Item number 3. I had thought that we would put it on hold. Because of the House's position, and again, I'm doing this more for the audience than anybody else. The House said that they were going to take a sweep of 5% of all the dedicated funds, and I don't think that that's allowable, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. We are looking at other things. Many of the funds that don't contribute to the division, department, or whatever that they're attached to, where the department provides the space for them to meet in, clerical assistance, and other services, that an administrative fee would not be out of question. And then there's also another thing about it is to have a back of the budget cut that says the governor needs to figure out a way to get, which would actually be somewhere around $30 million as a back of the budget cut. So this one, again, is still in the process of being discussed and what we want to do. I don't believe we want to do what the House has done, and that's why all these where they're requesting to be removed from that 5% sweep are being all put on hold. Any questions from the senators? Okay. And speaking of putting things on hold, page 6. All right. All of page 6 needs to go on hold. The Department of Justice, we've got what the Attorney General asked for. We've got Senator Birdsall, Senator Lang, and another Senator Lang. Exactly how that's going to shake out, you got me. So we're going to put that on hold. Objections, discussion before I do it? Page 7.
Second.
I have Pearl Lang to approve page 7, item 2. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Number 3. I have a Lang Pearl this time.
I was trying to shake it up a little bit.
I'm just, not rejecting you, Regina, but. All right, further discussion on item number 3.
I'm good.
All right, seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, Human Rights Commission. There is,
Work to be done on it. Work to be done on it.
correct. There is another amendment that is being drafted right now on the Human Rights Commission. Again, what makes this one tough is the audit that they had and different things that were going on with that. So best that we put that one on hold. Is there any discussion from the senators? All right, seeing none, moving on. Page 9, item number 1. Senator Birdsell moves. Item number 1.
I'll se-
Okay. All right. Any discussion? What,
Just curious why.
on item number 1?
Yeah.
It's revenue. It's coming in at $1.8 million, and I need every dime I can get.
So if we left it at corrections, there wouldn't be revenue?
No, there would still be revenue, but I think that, I'll let you guys,
So this section of House Bill 2, or the amendment they have for House Bill 2, as well as the revenue represented here is associated with a fee change in that amendment. This was brought forward by the department, and what it would do is align with what House Bill 25, the capital budget, is doing, which is making an investment in some license plate production equipment. So this would just move the production from DOC, Department of Corrections, to Department of Safety. There is a fee increase here, so the plate production fee would go from $4 per plate to $6, and that's the revenue you see presented.
and if you've seen plates from other states, a lot of them are no longer, the numbers aren't stamped into them, okay? They're a plain aluminum plate, and they have a coating on them, and it's all digitized,
And people used to get their wedding invitations engraved. And I don't know what the world has come to.
and now you get them via email, huh? Yeah. All right. We have a motion and a second on page 9, number 1, on Department of Safety. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 2A and B. Yeah, those are both holds. That's the 5% reduction that we talked about earlier. Any discussion on those? Okay, moving on to 3.
Second?
Pearl Lang. Okay, discussion on 3. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 4.
Second?
Birdsell Lang. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Page 10. 5 is a hold. There's a bunch of changes in there. Highway fund, general funds, and total revenues, etc. And we're still looking at that. Further discussion on that one? Moving on to 6.
Move to approve?
Second.
We have a Lang and a Birdsell. Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 7A, 7B, 7C. Okay? I'm going to take a motion on 7B.
Move to approve?
Senator Lang and Senator Pearl. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor of 7B say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Nay. Okay, so that's a 5-2.
Mr. Chair, I suggest we remove 7A and 7C.
Any objection to removing 7A and 7C from the report? Seeing none, they are removed. 11, page 11, 8, that's a hold. Exactly what we're going to do with the northern border. We're still looking at it. Any discussion? Moving on to 9.
Move to approve?
Have a Lang Pearl on item number 9. Discussion? Senator?
This was the mysterious $3 million that
Miss-
was in the 911 fund, right?
Yep.
Yep, it moves the funding from general fund funding to 911 and puts back the general fund spending.
Okay.
And adjust some of the language to make sure that we're on good ground. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor of 9, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Number 10.
I move auto pass on 10.
And
Pricey, right?
Lang and Gray then, I guess, because I didn't hear any others. You know, what can I say? What can I say? All right, discussion on number 10 on page 11.
If I may, Mr. Chair, just so I can explain. So again, I talked to Department of Motor Vehicle. The original bill had a fiscal note. They've agreed they would just like the language in law to allow for mobile driver's license. And if they come across either federal or state or local grant provisions that they can move forward and go to fiscal accordingly. But they need the law in place first. So I'd ask you to support the mobile ID program.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Page 12, number 1.
Second?
Okay. Pearl Lang, this removes the position. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 2A and B.
Mr. Chairman, as we hold those, I have another amendment coming forward that I'd like to present at a later time.
And the amendment is ready, and you can get it from Senator Pearl, but because it's going to change those dollar figures, I wanted to give you guys a chance to look at it first, so it will be on hold unless there's chairs overridden. Senator Perkins.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I know you're holding it on the version of the amendment that came out today. Does that protect existing awards that have been committed but not yet started construction, the way the language is worded?
Yes, that I believe was done anyway, but we'll make sure of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And probably a good idea to send it out to the committee, the amendment.
Yeah.
Okay, item number 3.
Move to approve?
Ooh.
Dan jumps in.
I guess who showed up?
All right. Any discussion on item number 3 on page number 12? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. And moving on to page 13.
Second?
We have Pearl Lang. Is there any discussion? This is the Employee Labor Relations Board moving into and making sure their computers are done, and although I don't want to do it. But. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. I just want to remind everybody at 2:30, apparently there's going to be some cannon fire, or shortly thereafter, Lafayette Day. Dun, 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 dun. Discussion.
So, Mr. Chair, on this last item, I think we've had this discussion before on one of the other boards where there's a $15,000 ask for.
Yep.
And I guess I'd like to get from DOIT, I'm just a little mystified at why we're increasing one line unless I can find an offsetting number somewhere else. We're laying off, there's significant reductions in this budget in personnel, which means that equipment should become available that wouldn't need new purchases. So I just like to see more of the numbers around that DOIT expense.
The commissioner of DOIT was here, spoke to it, said that he would true up all the numbers when we get to the end.
Before we vote on the whole budget to make sure.
Well, the problem is that in this one, it should be an increase because there is a tax for IT, okay? And it would be the other departments who are losing individuals, which would actually be a decrease. And whether we go in and do that, you know, actual decrease or not, or use it as part of the lapse in the back of the budget cut, I think that's more work than we can actually do. So just as We did vote on the other one that you were talking about. Reluctantly, you know, we're doing this one too. But again, that's to put the proper funds in the proper classes so that we can treat these people just like all of the other departments with the tax for IT. Okay, anything else to come before us in executive session? We'll go,
Move to come out of executive?
well, just.
I'm sorry.
We had the meeting tomorrow, it's scheduled early. Yes, 11. The meeting's tomorrow's at 11. All right, that's so we can get done, so you can go to caucuses and other things. Probably the items that are on hold, I guess I want to go over those again on Thursday. Okay? I was gonna do them every Monday, but now we've got so much stuff on hold, we need to check on their progresses to make sure that there is progress being made on those. So I think I'm gonna do that on Thursday, so that'll make Thursday's meeting a little longer, to go through the hold stuff also. Most of it will be rather quick, but, we'll do the meeting tomorrow as scheduled with the thing. And then Thursdays, we'll take care of the sheets, and then we'll go through quickly the things that are on hold to make sure that there is being progress made.
Thursday is after session.
Okay? And with that, I have a motion to come out of executive session. I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Our business today being complete, we are adjourned.